Hi, welcome to Nakama News. I'm your host, Jordan Goldie, and this is my co-host, Jamie Lawagi. Breaking news. Do admirals suck? They're on the defensive in a war, and we don't know if they can actually hold their own anymore.
Also, are we going to find out if a revolutionary hero killed a beloved king? Probably not. Maybe next week, though.
In other news, there might be incoming meteor showers in our weather report today. Be on the lookout if you're in the city.
Yeah.
Welcome to Nakama News.
The common news, you'll see friendship when you view the common news. Well, everyone lends a helping hand or two. I'm glad you could stick around for a minute now. You're always welcome at the common news.
All right. Well, welcome to Nakama News. Today we have chapter 1083. Goldie, what do you think? The truth about that day. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I am. I'm excited to actually learn a lot of the things. There's a whole lot of information in this episode and not a lot of answers.
Not a lot of answers. As always, spoiler alert for people who haven't read it. For our 10 viewers, be on the lookout. Let's just get it started, okay? I'll start. Cover page, we had Doflamingo. It was sadly just a cover page request, not him breaking out of Impel Down, which I think we're all waiting for. So a little bit of a tease, I thought. But I didn't see anything too crazy, just a request. Did you see anything with that? And then, yeah, I guess that we can just jump into the chapter then, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So chapter starts out. We do get to we get the continuation of Sabo's kind of story arc here, and I think some people were wondering if we would actually get that or if Oda would cut away again. I'm really happy he did. But we start out in Kamabaka Kingdom at the Revolutionary Army. It's Sabo, Dragon, and Ivankov. They're talking. Sabo's saying how they had the three objectives: declare war by breaking the statue of the celestial dragon claw, freeing the slaves, and then destroying their food reserves, which is, I thought, a good tactical ploy. Yeah, what are your thoughts here? Anything about that stand out?
Only Yvonne's screaming at how they're going to take down the world government now. I love how passionate he gets. They're finally going to get a taste of how it feels to be under siege. And I could just picture Yvonne going that crazy. He's a funny guy.
I wonder if we'll ever get like female Ivankov again, or if it's always going to be this big-headed one. It's like,
Did he ever go female mode except for Impel Down? I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. I think it was just then, but it seemed, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is his preferred, gender. That's cool. It's all right. I just, it was such a cool thing how he switched back and forth, and now it's always just the one. But I'll just rattle off some other key features in this first little part of the chapter here. They mention the uprisings in 12 kingdoms, how 8 of them were successful, and then they also kind of sad but funny to point out how one of those 8 successful ones was obliterated. And then they make a reference that the 7 that weren't obliterated are not going to pay the celestial tribute, which is some absurd tax that keeps the celestial dragons on top and fat and full and all those good things. They also comments on how they're cutting off resources to Marijua, which is another good tactical ploy that you'd expect from a revolutionary army. They make a point that they're squeezing them dry so that they suffer a little bit, and they point out that they're probably feeling it by now, which is a month kind of later since all the events happened. And then you want to talk about your favorite part?
Yeah, we got Dragon bringing up God's Knights. So he's saying that we're all fine and dandy, but until they release God's Knights on our butts, and we'll see because we have a very interesting looking shadowy figure when he mentions those people. And,
yeah, yeah. What do you think
that,
about the figure in front? Do you think that's someone we know?
It could be. It looks an awfully lot like our boy Shanks, and we don't know why. But there's a whole lot of rumors, and
I
it's
think
kind of
I think we need
it's
some
kind of
reckless
generating some
speculation,
buzz.
man. We need some reckless speculation out of you. I need you to
No, and it could be.
tell me
So if
right
Shanks,
now. Is that Shanks? Is that not Shanks? Who is it?
no, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's Shanks' evil twin, and we're gonna see him in about 100 episodes.
Yeah, 200 chapters from now we'll get the
200
answer.
chapters.
Yeah. I'm on board with the family theory too. So this is extra spoilery, but not everyone knows about the piece of reading material that came out with One Piece Film Red, which gave some canon information about characters. And one of that was about Shanks's origin, how Goldie Roger found him on God Valley, I believe, and he was a member. It sounded like a member of Celestial Dragons because that's where the Celestial Dragons lived, was on God Valley, and came from the Figureland family. So kind of alluded to his family. Interesting enough, I saw this on Twitter from someone who does translations from Oda's interviews. Oda was asked at one point, is there one Shanks or two Shanks? Because it seemed like one was really good and one was kind of like evil or borderline. And Oda pulled I'm not going to answer that one. Like he just said, I'm not answering. So maybe he's got a twin brother. Oda loves his clones. Who knows? I feel like it's hard to say.
It could be his dad for all we know. Like,
Yeah, could be his
what?
mom.
How
His
many
kid.
family figures do we
Oda
have
doesn't
in the
like
show?
moms.
No, no, moms don't exist unless they're
Yeah,
Ace's
mom.
mom and carries them for 18 months.
Do you think there's any significance that there's 9 of them?
Um,
Because there would be Im or Emu plus 9 God Knights would be the same as Luffy plus 9 Straw Hats.
yeah, that's a good point out. We could be looking at some potential matchups in some future fights. It could also be some kind of symbolism towards the founding of the Celestial Dragons. Um,
Yeah,
I've been trying to think of a lot of things, but I don't
yeah,
know. What do you
and
got, JB?
you got like the Templar Knights. I think there's 9 of those. Like there's a couple historical references to 9 for these kind of knight-like figures, but I'm not sure. And Oda is notoriously evil when it comes to silhouettes. Like first time we saw silhouette of Big Mom and Kaido, it was so different than what they actually look like. And so other than the one in the middle that definitely looks like it's meant to be at least related to Shanks, get us talking. The other ones aren't clear enough that I think they're definitively made up in Oda's mind of what they're going to look like. So it's hard to say. But and
Interesting stuff, though.
if that 9 is important too, then it kind of brings it back to maybe the Straw Hats are done and Blackbeard's crew actually really only has 9 true crew members, and Aokiji is actually going to turn on him eventually, like some people think. So
No,
maybe this
interesting.
puts out some of the fire that I was having for another crew member. This might be.
No.
I know.
We were rooting so hard. It's not over yet. There's still hope.
All right, and
And
then
then we saw King get killed. Maybe.
yeah, did you see that photo? You see it?
I did. It looked pretty bad, but I've seen some pretty bad looking stuff in One Piece.
Yeah, it didn't paint our boy Sabo in a good light, so it kind of explains why Dragon was kind of criticized, and I feel like fair, rightfully so, that he was doubting Sabo, like that Sabo wouldn't do that, or like he was not convinced that it couldn't be possible. I kind of get it based on the photo, because he's standing right by him, and it never looks good when a guy in a wheelchair is on the floor, not in his wheelchair. You know what I'm saying?
Your feet as
Yeah. It is not you never want to be that guy standing by a person in a wheelchair on the floor. Okay, it's not going to look good. You're getting arrested.
Stay
Um,
away.
I tried to do some analysis of the murder scene, and the only thing I could point out is that Sabo's not looking down at Cobra like he's menacingly evil. He's looking at something not in the frame. So obviously, Sabo didn't kill Cobra, but maybe whatever he's looking at would have. And we know, and we learn later kind of what Cobra was doing, but he was meeting with the Gorosei. So somehow something physical happened during that, and he fell off his wheelchair because it wouldn't be poison or something like that. Probably not falling off a wheelchair. So he either got shot or attacked or assassinated. But it was something physical. He didn't just cough
Yeah.
himself to death, which is what Oda's been hinting at for like 4 years.
And they do make it pretty clear that the Celestial Dragons have a clear motive to actually go after King Cobra, because he's the Nefertari family is the one family that didn't choose to go live in the Celestial Dragon capital, so in heaven. So
Yeah,
they have a grudge against the guy, although whatever is obvious in One Piece might not be so obvious in the end. You all
yeah.
know that.
In the Reverie arc, they do the five elders, the Gorosei, do point out that the Nefertari family has been always very troublesome, and they want to take care of it. And Vivi was one of the pictures that was offered to Emu about light to extinguish too. So obviously that family is problematic. So we'll see.
But could it be somebody else?
Would it be
Tune
somebody
in
else?
next week.
Yeah,
I
but
hope so.
real quickly though, like nobody aged more in 2 years than King Cobra. Like
The
he went
man
from
got gray. He went gray in 2 years. That's
he got
just
a gray and then something respiratory that's killing him. I'm not sure. What I look like, a doctor? Um,
no.
yeah. But hey, what should we play our new segment, Goldie, to break it up? A little halftime.
Yeah, we got a new segment for you guys. We're gonna do some trivia on here at Nakama News, and we're gonna ask each other some questions and see if we can stump each other.
Yeah, you
Go
want to go
easy on
first?
me.
Or me go first?
I'll shoot one at you first. So in this chapter, and we haven't gotten there yet, but we're gonna see a lot of celestial dragons, and I want to know if you can name me three celestial dragons.
Wow. Okay. Um, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I can get maybe some last names. I mean, Saint Charlos is our boy.
There you
Uh,
go.
just let me think.
The big punch.
Yeah, Saint Charlos. I know this is cheating, but we just learned the Gorosei's name, and he was Saint Saturn. So I'm gonna use that as one.
Counted.
Yep,
Saints.
and then we have the Don Quixote family. So there's two of them. There's, well, I guess you can count um, Doflamingo,
Kind of
but
count both of them.
his dad and his uncle. So the one that was redeemed at Fishman Island that saved Shirahoshi. So those are my three. That
I'll
you
take it.
almost got me. You almost got
Just
me.
just to clarify, the rest of the Don Quixote family, it's Rosinante and Homing.
Okay, yeah, Rosinante. I remember that. Yeah. Well, there's four of them too. I mean, the
There's
Doflamingo
another one.
whole family he had Corazon, his brother, and yeah. So there's a bunch of them, but yeah,
Yeah, I was the dad. Yeah.
yeah, I got you.
I tried. I tried. I tried. That was a good one.
All right, you ready for mine? My first one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fill me with your best shot.
yeah. So Vivi makes a short appearance in this chapter, and I want to know what was Vivi's code name in Baroque Works way back when we meet her
Oh man.
Whiskey Peak.
Our code
I
names.
guess
Hold on, I
maybe
gotta think about that for a
Laboon.
second.
We meet her at Laboon, yeah.
Yeah, I do. The Whiskey Peak. Man.
No, it was before that. It was like right when, yeah, they tried to kill Laboon, I think.
No, yeah, they do.
I can give you a hint if you
Something
want.
to do. It was something to do with because she had that weapon that was like chain like, and I
Yeah.
feel like it was something to do with that weapon. But
No, it's nothing to do with the weapon. You couldn't
nothing.
be further off. No.
Well, god dang.
Let me give you a hint. It's something to do with like a date or the women were all holidays or dates or
Yeah. Was she like Miss Sunday?
no, that was Robin was all Sunday.
All Sunday.
She was
Um,
Miss Wednesday.
Miss what? God, wrong day.
I'm
Wrong day
sorry.
of the week.
I know. Yeah, you had a 1 out of 7 guess and you failed.
That was rough.
That's okay.
Okay, mine also had to do with Vivi,
Ooh,
and so I had a two-part one for bonus points. Can you tell me the name of Vivi's duck-like companion?
yeah.
And then for bonus points, in Alabasta, we have a squadron of duck-like companions that help us invade the city. Can you tell me the name of that duck squadron?
So Karoo is the duck. Her
Karoo, you got it.
Yeah, the Duck Squadron. I haven't thought about them in years. Um,
For Miss
yeah,
Wednesday.
I think I just yeah. What were they called?
They were literally called the Supersonic Duck Squadron.
Ah, you gave me the answer. Because all I could remember was Duck Squadron, and I was like, can't be that. Yeah,
It's all right. Just no extra credit. We're all good. I got the other one wrong anyway.
that's all right.
Hit me with your second.
I'm still 2 for 2. That was a bonus question. I'm still 2 for 2.
You are. Let's see
You
if I
ready
can
for your
get
last
one.
one? You ready for your last one?
Let's do it.
Redemption. Okay. Think very hard. Like, think with me here. What was the first time? So, yeah, what was the first time we saw King Cobra's face?
The first time.
Yeah.
I want to say it was in Drum Island.
Mhm. Maybe they silhouette it there. And it's kind of a trick question, okay? It's kind of a trick question.
You gave me a trick question in our first trivia.
I'm sorry, it's a fun one though. It's a fun one.
Um, because I wanted to say it was in some kind of paper. Like we didn't see him in person to start, like a newspaper or, because like on the ship or something like that.
Yeah.
No,
It's got something to do with one of our favorite characters.
it's one of our favorite characters.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, God.
Bon Clay. Going like this on the ship.
Yeah.
And then Vivi's like white face because she's like, that's my father, the king. So
That's
kind of
right. When they first see him drive by on the ship or float by on the ship, and he goes through all of his faces. Wow.
yeah,
I was not going to get that one.
yeah. Well, he's
Those are
like
good
having a good
questions.
time on the ship with like Chopper and Luffy and stuff, and he's like, let me show you this, and one of them's yeah.
I remember the part now. Now that you talk about it, but man, I was not going to get that. I completely forgot
Well,
that he slipped in
you
Cobra's face.
absolutely failed trivia, Goldie. You are the worst.
I got destroyed. Miss Wednesday and Mister Two, they both got me.
You almost got me. You almost got me. All right, all right. Well, that was fun. It was
All right. Well, I'll try again next week. I gotta redeem myself next time. Let's keep going with the chapter review though, because we
yeah,
got
let's
some more
talk
to talk
about
about.
the high points of the rest of the chapter. So the scene switches. Now it's going to Sabo's story. Flashback 1 month. They're in Marijois. It starts off. We got celestial dragons being celestial dragons. You know they're riding slaves. It's an old guy. He's not going fast enough. He's like, "What are you doing? Get me home." Just the worst of the worst. And then they kind of confirm quickly what Sabo was saying about like how they destroyed the dragon symbol and they messed with the food supply. Then we see some of the captains of the Revolutionary Army. We got my boy Carso with the suit fruit. Looks like a Logia, which is awesome because we weren't sure what he had. He just was like splitting into crows and stuff last time we saw him. but he looks sick. That's probably one of my favorite character designs in the show. Then we get a shot of Lindbergh. He's kind of the techie inventor mink cat guy. He's doing his thing, and then Morley is there too. He's fighting Green Bull. I think Caruso is fighting Fujitora. And then we get my favorite part of the whole chapter. It's this when Admiral Fujitora says, "They're like, what are you doing, man?" He's just like doing his thing. He's like, "I'm bringing in a meteor shower." And they're like, "Oh, settle down. You're gonna kill everyone." He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll stop." Um, so that was pretty cool. But you finish up here. You tell me kind of what's else going on.
Well, can we talk about any of that first, or do we want to?
Well,
Well,
if you
we'll,
want,
we'll
yeah,
talk about it after.
yeah,
So we had. Well, it's, I wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about Karasu and the captains a little bit
yeah. Go
because
ahead, do it.
they're all pretty cool. And I'm gonna say Karasu is awesome. I agree. He reminded me actually his character design. If anyone's seen Naruto, he actually reminded me of Sasori from Naruto with his character design quite a bit, and specifically the dummy.
Oh,
It
okay.
was it's kind of interesting, almost how they. I kind of wonder if Oda took any references from that.
He loves
Um,
the writer of Naruto. They're like buddies.
and then we see all the admirals kind of getting their butts kicked, or at least being on the defensive because they can't fight in the city.
Yeah,
Um,
and to be fair, to defend the admirals, they don't look like they take a lick of damage. They just also don't do anything.
they just kind of stand there like we can't do anything.
Yeah, I think Morley pierces Green Bull's hand, but obviously he's a Logia, so it's not anything bad. And I don't think Fujitora gets hit one bit. He just kind of stands there and looks cool.
And then after that, so I'll keep going. So we see Sabo, and Sabo is calling out that Kuma's there. He's kind of looking for the keys to see if they can get all the collars for the slaves. We see Bonnie running around. She's kind of looking for Kuma. Uh, we see Vivi after
Yeah,
that, and Vivi talks to Lucci. This is one of my favorite parts of the chapter. She's talking to Lucci, and Lucci's like, "Stay by me, I'll protect you." And Vivi goes, "Yeah, just like you protected Shirahoshi." And you just see Lucci's face. He's like, he's all guilty looking. I've
yeah.
never seen that from Lucci
He's
before.
like offended. He's personally offended.
Yeah. He's surprised. Lucci, just the demon who's from CP0, is all guilt ridden. I thought that was funny. Um,
Do you
yeah, any
think?
thoughts on those, Danny?
Well, I was gonna say, do you think Oda's trying to make Lucci out to be a redeemed character or maybe a more nuanced character? Because he used to be just a weapon. Now on Egghead, he's helping Luffy and the Straw Hats. They teamed up a
I
little
do
bit.
kind of see him turning into more of a rival ally, where like a smoker or something like that, where you're still enemies, but you work together on certain occasions, and you they don't necessarily hate each other anymore.
Yeah, it reminds me of Crocodile Impel Down. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, I could see him going that way with Lucci, and it's kind of interesting that they're doing that. I've been wondering for so long what they're gonna do with Lucci now that they brought him back because they referenced it. And I kind of like it.
Yeah, and then one other thing I wanted to point out was Bonnie running around. On Egghead, she definitely makes mention that she talks to Sabo or like runs into him or saw what happened. So um, that's gonna be a part of it for sure. Like she's gonna be there during the assassination or something. I just don't know what happens, but unless Oda forgets that, but he really kind of hinted that she was present and had an interaction with Sabo, and she hasn't had that yet so far that we've seen.
Man, who called Bonnie becoming such a significant character way back on Sabaody? She seemed. She starts out just like tackling Zoro and saving him from a celestial dragon, and now she's running around the reverie and and she's related to Kuma and all this stuff. I like Bonnie. She's becoming a character. It's cool.
Yeah, I like Bonnie a lot. I hope we get more of her sometime.
We had yeah, me too.
2 years
We
from
had one
now.
more scene to end the chapter. Jamie, you want to go with that one?
Sure, yeah. We get Cobra's perspective. He's at the door to the Gorse. It looks like the guards are saying, "Yo, only you can come in. Your boy's got to stay out." Then they always show Cobra like really sick. Like Oda wants to like soften the blow. Like he was gonna die anyway.
He's on his way out.
So dumb. Uh, he tells Pell, who also is a person who should have died a long time ago, to like stay back. It's fine. Go watch out. Go look out for Vivi instead. Almost like Cobra knows that he might be getting assassinated here. So, um, that's kind of how the chapter ends. Is just on that note. So again, we don't find out what actually happened.
It's a heck of a cliffhanger, and it definitely feels like another part one, just like when they left off with Garp a couple chapters ago.
If they don't come back next week, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, unless
I,
it's a cool chapter somewhere else, that's fine. I'll forget about it. But like,
if they don't come back, they better make up for it.
they literally just had to get one. Like we were like, okay, we get it. We got most of the things answered, but like seriously, what happened to Cobra? What did you see, Sabo? And we don't get any of that this chapter.
What really happened? That's the name of the chapter. What really happened that day, and then we only get half the story.
All we get is that Sabo's running around the castle looking for collars, and
Yeah, well, we
that's
already
it.
knew Kuma was there. I didn't know Bonnie was there. That was kind of news.
Well,
Um,
you knew Bonnie was at Marijua, like she snuck in as like her
her
as like
child,
her
so
grandma or something.
her
Uh,
grandma.
yeah, like posed as her grandmother, I believe, who was the queen of Sherbert Kingdom or whatever. So we knew
Oh
she's
yeah,
there. We just didn't, she was like old lady disguise. Um, but yeah, crazy stuff. Um, what do overall? I thought it was a good chapter. I like the introduction of the Gods Knights. That was really interesting, and I'm excited to see where
yeah.
that goes. Um, it definitely was a lot of making the admirals not look quite as bad. So we still have some hope for the admiral believers out there that they're strong actually. Um, do you worry? Do you worry that Oda's introducing 9 silhouetted characters this late in the game?
You know, with One Piece, it could. It's not like it's going to end this year, so I think he has time to flesh out some characters if he wants to. I just hope that he doesn't rush those characters because he's making them out to be important, very important, in game important even. So
Yeah.
if he's going to introduce these characters, I really hope he takes the time to make them characters and not just rush them in as these all powerful bodyguards, basically.
Yeah, I just hope that they're. I feel like one of the problems we have now is, Luffy's Yonko level strength. He's very strong. It's hard to feel like he's gonna lose, much now that he's where he's at. So I'm hoping that Oda like cranks it up to 10 with admirals and their awakenings potentially. I hope that Eam or the God Knights are incredibly strong. I want this final. I hope Akainu's like super strong. I want a lot of like elite top tier people, and you know, so I'm hoping for that.
I'm really excited because I know Oda's been talking about the end of One Piece for forever, and he's always mentioned how the ending saga of One Piece is going to make Marineford look tiny. And I'm super like he's been talking about that for years and years and years. So I know that he's got a plan in place.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what he's got in store because I think I don't know if he's going to flush out everything. I am a little worried he won't flush out the Gods Knights as much because they seem really cool. But whatever's in store, I'm excited for it.
yeah, no, I think so. Well, that's all I got. What about you?
That's all for me too. Thanks for checking us out today at Nakama News, guys. Check us out on our social medias. We're at The Nakama News on TikTok, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Also, thanks for everyone who helps us make this content. You guys have a great day.
Nakama News. Well, everyone lends a helping hand or two. I'm glad you could stick around for a minute now. You're always welcome back. Nakama News.
I am Jordan Goldie, and this is my co-host Jamie Loagi here at Nakama News. We got the news report for you today. To start off, breaking news. I blanked.
That's so good. You had me.
I don't know why that was so funny. I'm just like looking at you like.
That's some seductive shit, brother.